Easy. I just want to say before I get started with this video that I had a catastrophic hard drive failure just after recording this video, and the recovery software only managed to recover 45 minutes of the talk. But I thought it was worthwhile, the information within the talk. So just to let you know that it is a little shorter than it should have been. But just enjoy the talk and appreciate every single one of you. WOLFPACK, assemble! It's very early in the morning. What's going on? It's TC, and this is TC DnB Chats with DJ Fury. Firstly, if you're new to the WOLFPACK, a very warm welcome, and if you're not, welcome back. And if you find any of the information in this video useful, please smash the like button and send it out to your circle of producers. If you're not already part of the community, part of the WOLFPACK, hit that subscribe button to receive notifications every time I upload some fresh new information. Also, don't forget to check out my samples and presets for Serum, Vital, Massive, and FM8. Check out my t-shirts and hats. Follow my Anthems playlist on Spotify. Follow my Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Links in the description. In this episode of DnB Talk, I'm joined by the world's greatest opening DJ, long-time soldier in the scene, raising DnB flag for Denver, my good friend, DJ Fury. What you say, bruv? You good?
I'm good, man. How are you?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm just a little bit shell-shocked, to be honest, to getting up early to do this talk, but it's all good. Like, yeah, I'm just.
I love we're running the opposite sides of the clock tonight. I love it. It's great.
Yeah, you look so enthused.
I'm good. I've been up all day, man. I'm at post midnight. You're at like just got up mode. So
yeah. How was your day today? Were you? I know you're like a super productive person. Like you got that vegan energy, that super strong plant-based power. What's today been for you?
It's been all right. I mean, we got a new president in this country, so hopefully.
That is incredible news. It's definitely awesome. I also feel like it could be that the new guy is just the same as the old guy.
I mean, no one will ever be the same as that last old guy we just had. But, hey, I mean, this guy's certainly a career politician. But, I mean, anything to get rid of the ridiculousness of the last 4 years.
It has been a bit of a madness, really. Having somebody who's just basically like a reality TV show geezer trying to like run things it's not cool. And he's obviously it was just a dark. Everybody says that it's been a dark time over there, and like from my Twitter, just seeing all of the elation going past, everyone's like, "Yes, yeah." All right. But then I always think to myself, "Be careful what you wish for." Do you know what I mean? Like it's always the government that gets in at the end of the day, and there's a lot of madness going on.
Yeah, no, agreed. I think I mean it's not like it's going to be some fucking hallelujah moment and the world's going to change over here, but definitely glad to see a bunch of like nonsensical craziness gone. I mean, that was a weird 4-year moment for America, in my opinion. That's for sure.
It definitely feels like they're just sort of like, all right, later on, we're just going to get on with it now. So that's cool. And hopefully, like, because it was affected artists like me as well, because when I went to get my visa to come and play New Year's Eve in Los Angeles, it was like much harder for someone like me to sort of come and play and perform my art in America. I remember the interview process was a lot more intricate, had to provide a lot more evidence of like the fact that I deserve to come into the country and stuff. So
yeah. They were asking about your wall climbing skills to see if you were allowed in here or not.
Wall climbing skills. Well, apparently I read today that that's all getting scrapped anyway, which for me just seems ridiculous. What a waste of money to put it up, and then it's just like, wow. New dawns, new horizons. Ridiculous. You know, I'm looking forward to. I don't know when it's going to be possible to come back out and play in the US, but it's just really one of them things, isn't it? I'm personally thinking like 2024, Is that how everyone laughs when I say that? But
well, I mean, DnB is going to be huge in America in 2024. That's all I know.
Yeah, I mean, I think 2021 is really going to be the year for American DnB, you know.
Me too, man. Me too. I mean, I think 2020 was going to be the year it was going to be big in America. I think 2019 was going to be the year it was going to be big in America. 2010, like you go through them all, that's when it was going to be big in America. So
it is. I think it is going to be big. 2021, you know, it's going to the kids are going to be down with the new fast dubstep. It's going to be massive. So you are like a DJ. You've been running a night in Denver for a long time. Can't even remember the first time that I played for you. I remember the Viram tour with
that was with Funcase, wasn't it?
I think it was didn't I do the Viram thing with Delta Heavy? And did you pick that one up? And I think it was Optical.
We did, yeah. I mean, you've been to so the night that you've played a bunch of times was the Fridays we were doing at Beta.
Yeah, I mean, R.I.P. to Beta. That was a sad moment. I was really sad that I wasn't able to come and play out there one last time. That club was sick. The sound system was so good, and like just vibes in there. I remember having some really good times in Beta.
Yeah, it was pretty epic. I mean, it was the one place we could get in Denver, like 1,000 people out to see a drum and bass show still, you know? I mean, it was kind of one of those places where people came regardless, so it helped just get some people in there. But, I mean, it was just nice. We had some big nights in there for sure. Yeah, what was it? I mean, I know you came out with, you definitely came out for one of the Viram ones. The first night was with, oh man, I can't even remember now. I don't know. I know you played 4 or 5 times, though, because I did a spreadsheet at the end of the night when we were all done with the whole run. And I had every DJ and how many times they played our Friday night over the 8 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I mean, I definitely played Beta, I think 3, maybe 4 times.
I think it was 4 for you, yeah.
And every time it was, obviously when we're on tour, it's a bit of a sort of whirlwind thing. So we'll land sort of, you know, the same night of show after a 5-hour flight from somewhere connecting in like somewhere else, and like we'll always be rinsed out. But I always remember like just when you get to Denver, it's a different feel because you're so high up. Like I remember thinking, am I going to get that whatever it is when you sort of like what's it called? Some altitude kind of sickness. Altitude sickness. It's like 5,000 meters up or something, isn't it? Or 5,000 feet.
5,000 feet. I mean, yeah. American feet. It's like 27 quarts or something like that.
It's American feet, different to English feet.
Oh yeah, you guys do feet also, don't you?
Yeah, we got feet here. I mean, the whole aviation industry is based on feet.
Yeah, I guess that's true. Yeah. But I forget, you guys are like partial metric, partial American dumb system. Like
yeah, I think we kept on to like we don't have pounds. I mean, so we kind of do pounds and ounces a little bit. We just sort of do whatever. We're kind of like multilingual. Whatever it is, standardization.
Yeah, you guys have stones. I have no idea what a stone is.
All I know is I'm too many stones. It's just way too much, bro. I've been trying really hard. I keep thinking this Ital diet is going to have to be the one because like I'm still eating meat and I'm eating carefully. I eat like a sparrow basically. And I think I'm just sort of like, my body is designed to live in like the tundra, I feel. Like every single calorie, my body's like, I must like conserve this calorie because otherwise you just don't know when you're going to get the next one. Do you know what I mean?
There you go. That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I've run the fucking gamut during this whole COVID thing where I've like been at my highest ever and then back down to where I feel okay again. You know, it's like, brutal.
I always thought that it was super easy as a vegan to be able to not like to sort of like not pile on, but I guess we went and had that. What was that? We had like a breakfast last time I was out, and it was a vegan thing, and I was like, this is kind of feels calorific, but it's pretty damn good.
Yeah, no, you can be. I'm like the epitome of the junk food vegan. I mean, I got into the whole vegan thing because of animal rights reasons, not for health reasons. So. Like, I mean, I can pack the pounds on no problem if I'm not careful.
Smashing the what is it, coconut oil, bruv.
I mean, you name it.
So do you think? How do you think? Do you think the scene in the US is going to make it through this sort of like break that we've got going on? It's going to be really tough. I think there's some nights that are just not going to be coming back. And it was already, I mean, I don't want to be like the doom and gloom guy, but it was already a little bit shaky in the States. I remember the last tour I did was, well, I did like a big show for Insomniac on New Year's, but before that, my last proper tour was the World of Drum and Bass. And we must have done like 16 or 18 different shows in the course of like 2 weeks.
Yeah, SS is the champ of fucking getting like a million dates out of nowhere. That guy should be a booking agent. He shouldn't even be agent anymore. Like, he should just be crushing on that side of it. He's the man. Like,
massive respect to SS for all his connections. I have no idea how he manages to pull out some of them shows. We did shows in, I don't even know, man, like Milwaukee and stuff like that.
Towns,
it's just like
towns that have like one drum and bass show a year, and it's World of Drum and Bass.
Yeah.
Like, that's it. Yeah. No,
we played one show that was in like some weird bar where half the bar was a club and the other half was like sort of like a regular pub with just old dudes sitting down at like the bar. But it was still sick. Like the crowd that were there were like having it.
Wait, so the old dudes sitting down, were they there for drum and bass? Because that's like a
they were just there because it was the only pub in the whole town, you know what I mean, that was open. But I love those shows. I really feed off, like my first show when I went abroad, I think was I went to France, and this promoter was super into the music, so that was a bonus. But I played to like 2 crowd members and a dog. Like, and I was just like, I was gassed to just even be there, you know? And like, I'm not saying that I don't play big shows because, you know, there's loads of big ones, but I think any DJ that says that they only play massive shows or their shows are always packed out is either lying or they're missing out on an experience in life where you have to sort of like just treat it as if it's like one of those practice gigs, you know, or whatever it is.
That whole world's changed nowadays, though. I mean, these kids grow up now on a whole different timeline than we did. I mean, it's not there isn't, some of these guys, they produce in a bedroom. They crack off like huge with some big tune, and then the first shows they're playing are like well-established shows. It's like a whole nother world. Like, they don't. I mean, there's guys now who are DJing at shows who are never in the crowd as fans, you know? I mean, like they literally were like bedroom guys who never went out ever until they had a tune out and were big, and suddenly they're on stage playing. It's a different world.
I remember watching like as a kid, I worked in the nightclub before I was even allowed to be in the nightclub, and I was just sort of like what's the word? Not temping, but like doing my sort of work experience kind of stuff, just like following the sound guy around.
Yeah.
And I remember watching Groove Rider and Crust and London Electricity. There was a night called Drive By in the UK in a club called the Thekla, and the Thekla was where I worked, and it was like a big boat with a big massive sound system in it. And like, I get your point there, like, I spent a lot of time just listening and being like, firstly, sort of like scared to even be in a club. Because back in those days, it was kind of, the drum and bass crowds weren't really sort of happy rave crowds. They were kind of, there was a bit of a darker element to the crowds. And now it's a very, very different time. I guess, as you say, like the kids coming through, there's much more of like a work mindset to it. It's like, kill, you know what I mean? They got to be like, for me, if I knocked out 1 or 2 tunes a week and I was just sort of chilled with it and I would send it off to people and just be relaxed. But now it's like, I got to get a manager and get my logo and like sort out my branding. I didn't even know what branding was, but I couldn't even open Photoshop. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, come on, I got your hat on. You fully know branding. There's no question about it. Come on, you're a branding master.
Yeah, but I'm a long time down the road, and I've had to sort of like catch up with all of these kiddies who are coming through, and it's like they're almost like they know. I guess maybe because YouTube exists, and there's so many people out there who are saying like, you got to get this on point, and you got to get that on point, so that you can get better in your career. And I agree with all that stuff. They're probably right, but it's a little bit sad that these things can't just kind of develop naturally instead of being kind of forced in some sense.
I mean, but it's just a whole nother world now. I mean, like, and to what you're talking about, like some of these kids, they're like scared to death to actually do the performance part too. You know, they go through this whole like, I know I want to be recognized. I want to be famous. I want appreciation for my art, and they learn how to produce, and they do these great tunes, and they're like legitimately amazing producers. But then it comes time for the like live performance, and they half of these guys really are just like socially uncomfortable. They do not want to be on stage. They don't want to be in front of a big crowd. They're not like, you know, rock stars, which is like what, you know, the traditional music industry was about, like fame and all that stuff. And now they're just more about this like internet fame. And when it comes to the live side of things, I think half of them are massively uncomfortable with it.
I love the live stuff personally. I mean, I'm just sort of really into that whole no sleep for 5 days, turning up and pretending like you're having a great time, you know? It's just
Yeah, me too, man. That's like the game for me, but I'm old as dirt, so I mean, like, that's a whole nother thing. Plus, I mean, I've never produced a single song in my entire life, so
But given that you got lots of friends like me, I send you all my stuff, everything that I can, because I know that you're going and playing a lot of shows around when we can play shows. I know that you're off going doing all of the big Insomniac things, and like you get gigs around the place. So I always make sure I try and keep people like you stocked up with tunes, you know. And you got more things. You got a lot of stuff to be doing anyway. I know that you're deep into like the management side, artist management. You got a few more artists that you manage, and you've been a designer for like it's flyers and covers. I've had you do a cover or two, I think, for me, and I know you do covers for other labels and stuff. So
yeah, I'm kind of like the living, walking proof of that. Who you know gets you gigs. Like, there's no question about that. I mean, it's just the history in the industry for me. I mean, I don't know. I've been very fortunate to have crossed paths and been able to work with so many people over the years. And I mean, it's I'm now, you know, multiple generations deep into this thing, and I've watched it change and flow and grow and all that stuff. But yeah, the DJing thing came first for me, and promoting shows and all that stuff, and then kind of progressed into all those different aspects of it. But yeah, it's kind of funny that I can still go play EDC Las Vegas, where these kids like mark that as like a career benchmark where they've made their entire lives like successful, and I'm just like, yeah, I'm playing for the 47th time at an EDC this year. You know, like, I mean, I love it. It's like amazing. It's not lost on me how like amazing it is that I get to do that. But it's kind of humorous, because I just want to be like, well, hey, if you guys learn to be friends with a bunch of people who can influence things, it works for you really well.
I really like them shows. Those shows are so just the production element on those things is ridiculous. And all the crew that work there, the hard work they put in, and all that PK sound, you know, like the hard work that they all do. It's so, it doesn't go unrecognized, because people go there and they're in awe of the insane production. And just the sheer amount of money they spend on fireworks. It's ridiculous. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah. I mean, this is where I'm gonna 100% give my credit out to Forrest right now, because like Forrest was the man to build EDC and the Insomniac Productions up to the level that they're at right now. Like, always give that guy credit for the growth and building EDC and the Insomniac brand to where it was. That dude's the man. Plus, just a huge drum and bass fan always, you know. So Pasquale's always been a huge drum and bass fan too, the two of them. So
it's great to speak to Forrest about drum and bass. And to speak to somebody who's got so much deep knowledge into the genre, especially for the roots of it, and massive respect to Forrest and Pascal and the whole Bass Rush and Insomniac, like camp, those guys just sort of like, the way that they support drum and bass means so much to artists like me. And like, it exposes our music to a totally different crowd. And it's just fantastic. It is. The opportunity to play those big shows is just so blessed, you know, like, and the thing I would say about the shows is I get like this feeling when I'm playing them, is you can tell that it's based on a reality from the people who set up the festival or any of those shows, that they have a deep love for that early music. And it really comes through in all of the elements, down to like the performance artists that they hire to come and walk around the festival, the things that they do, those extra things that just bring that kind of like added excitement to it. And it definitely feels like just, it has a feeling towards that it's actually got roots and it's not just sort of a plastic kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, they're really the only like like festival company in the US that has like actively supported drum and bass all the way through, you know? I mean, and that comes from like the top people there because they've always supported it and loved it, you know? I mean, there's no question in America that like no drum and bass artist is pulling 10,000 people at this point, like period. It just doesn't, there's no question, zero. It's never happened. Even back in the, like when people say it was the heyday of drum and bass in America, I mean, people are delusional. The heyday of drum and bass in America was still shitty. Like, you know, I mean, yeah. I mean,
what do you mean? It's the best year for it this year, bro.
Hashtag DnB 2021. But I mean, I get into this all the time though, where people are like, it's coming back, it's going to be great. And I'm like, man, you're comparing it to like dubstep in America where like 10,000 people will come out for a show. And I'm like, that never happened in America, like ever. It just didn't happen. It was better and we didn't have the competition in the bass world and it was good, you know, but like, there was never a point in America where we were like the spot in the world for drum and bass. It's never been there, you know, like it not for lack of my trying or many other people in America. Like, I mean, countless people in America who have all pushed it, you know, but like, it's just never been the thing. But back to the point of like Insomniac and what they're doing though, like their roots go back to those days in the early drum and bass jungle part of America where, you know, Pasquale was there in the very beginning and he was a part of pushing it. And so was Forrest, and those guys still will go out of their way no matter what, even at their big festivals, to make sure that the guy who has global respect gets the position in the American festival. To like, for people who are like, who the fuck is this? They at least have to like look it up and be like, oh wow, this guy's actually like, you know, on a global level, massively respected, you know? So
I have to say, on the World of Drum and Bass tour as well, I was pleasantly surprised by the turnouts. On every show, there wasn't a single show that we played that was, you know, one of those sort of like disappointingly, you turn up and how is it doing tonight? And then the promoter's like, yeah, it's pretty good. I always ask that question when the promoter comes to pick me up in the car, like when it's sort of time for my set. I'm like, how's it looking down there? I always know, in my soul, I always know before I get to a show, if I'm super nervous and I got knots in my stomach, before I've spoken to anybody, it's going to be rammed and sick. If I'm just like super chilled, then there's nothing going on. There's 5 people in there and it's going to be just like a nice drink, a little chilled out one, whatever. I should never really say that I play those kinds of shows. I should be like, every show's slammed. But you got to be real about these things, you know?
Yeah, and that's why, like, I appreciate everyone who comes over to tour the States in the drum and bass world. Like, I always have great appreciation for it because, like, I know where we're at, and I appreciate that they're coming to help, like, support it over here and build it, you know, and or build. I mean, we've been building for 30 years. I mean, what do you? but you know what I mean. Like, they haven't ignored it. They're willing to, you know, they're going to come over and play for, you know, whatever, a few hundred people as compared to like 1,000 or 2,000 in some of the European cities, you know. And but it really has helped keep it alive over here, you know, and just keep it going. But
the fans are just so into it, though. That's the thing over there. But it's a slightly older fan base, I would say.
By slightly, you mean like 30 years older?
It's true. But I don't know why. The next generation...
Dude, do you want the dissertation on where drum and bass went wrong in America? Because I will give you the dissertation and my opinion. I mean, take it or leave it, whatever it is. But like, it's pretty simple when it really comes down to it. Like the rest of the world, like youth grew along with drum and bass. In America, we had this thing where like drum and bass had a really strong grasp into America in the like late 90s, you know, through the 90s into the early 2000s. I mean, it wasn't like huge, but it was there. I mean, we didn't trance and house were bigger. But so as it went along, the people involved were, I mean, everyone's going to hate me for it, but just not inviting. It was not an inviting community. So
it's like an insular kind of, you can't be a part of this if you don't know what the nine is kind of vibe.
It was pretty elitist, to be honest. Like, I mean, like for my experience, like I went through the whole thing and I played whatever I thought people would dance to. Like I liked, you know, I mean, I would play whatever the jump up equivalent was along through the whole thing, you know.
It was still jump up. I mean, it was just, you know, your full cycle and like
twisting individual. You know, I mean, like whatever it might have been. Like, I mean, that was my thing, was like, I mean, I'm going to play stuff where it's not going to be 7 angsty males in the middle of the dance floor who have their arms crossed, who are just like, I'm so angry and this is fucking awesome. You know?
There was a whole time as well when like the tech itch and that real like king to the king to the king to the king to the king kind of music was like killing it in the States.
Nothing but respect to Mark.
Of course, massive.
Amazing, you know, great producer, you know. It was just like, but it was angry, and it was not like, you're not going to get a bunch of girls to come out to mix with a bunch of dudes and just have like an equal dance floor of like representing the entire community for drum and bass at that point. So like, I mean, you went through like this like early raga stage in like the early 90s and mid 90s in America, where it was just like fun and dancey, and then it just got really dark and neuro-y and angry. And I don't know that America was completely like all on board with that, you know. And it kind of got weird. And then but then you introduce like dubstep, and you've got like, suppose I'm a 19-year-old kid in, I don't even know when dubstep came around, 2007, 2006, I don't even really know. Anyway, so suppose I'm a 19-year-old kid right then, and I've got this scene of these this new sound that's coming in that I can be a part of and like revolutionize something new, or I can try and feel like an asshole at some drum and bass show with a bunch of 30-year-olds who are treating me like I don't belong there. And that's kind of what happened with drum and bass in America. So what's happened is you've got like youth coming along here with dubstep, and the exact same crew that liked drum and bass in 2000 is still the drum and bass scene in 2020, basically. And you've got like this like small portion of young kids who've been paying, you know, attention to like international like sound, and they understand that like the sound has changed and it's evolved and it's great and it's fucking awesome. But like, I don't know, they don't pay to go see it.
There was a San Diego show that I did. I can't even remember. It wasn't on the World of Drum and Bass. It was the tour before then. And it was so good. Like this San Diego show, it was kids, and it was like, it had that real sort of almost, I don't want to say, but like a European vibe to the crowd. Yeah. And I feel like there's some labels that are doing a lot of good work in America to try and bring that through. And I'm not dissing on any of the promoters or anything like that, because they're all soldiers.
Oh my God. We're a bunch of crack addicts. We basically go in it to lose money. I mean, like, there's not a single drum and bass promoter in America who's like rolling around in their fancy car being like, yo, I'm balling from promoting drum and bass in America. Like,
it's all for the love.
You do it for the love, like straight up. Like, it's like, how little can I lose tonight? It's never can I make money? Like, if you break even, you're like cracking champagne open if you break even as a drum and bass promoter in America. Ridiculous. Yeah.
It is ridiculous. Like, I wish that it was a little different, and But it just is what it is. And we can
And
only say
2021
is going to be the year where every well, it's not really, but 2022 maybe, when things come back. I was thinking I'm going to try and be like, I was having a conversation with, I think it might have even been you, where I was like, I'm going to come back sort of later this year, and because I got a visa, I might be a little bit ahead of the game, and like,
yeah.
But then, like, I feel like every single DJ in the world is about to announce a world tour. Do you know what I'm saying? Because they've all rinsed out all their money, and I don't get any help from like the government or anything like that. There's no stimmy for TC because of the way that I've got my businesses set up. So like, I've been having to do a lot of other things to try and keep myself sort of liquid and moving forward. And so I'm definitely ready to get back out on the road. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, to be fair, I can't imagine that the first stop on anyone's world tour in the drum and bass world is going to be like, yo, everything's opened up. I got to get to America to tour right now.
That's true. Yeah, you know what? They're probably all going to go to like the European cities and stuff like that. But then because we got this Brexit thing, we all are supposed to get visas now to work in Europe.
I saw that. Yeah.
So,
I mean, I'm one of the acts I manage is Delta Heavy. Like if you were talking about management. And,
so let's talk about management. So you're managing Delta Heavy, which is incredible. Like they are massive in the game. They're kind of a crossover act as well. They do a bit of dubstep too.
Yeah, I mean, I do. I've been managing mostly. It's mostly a dubstep roster, to be honest, in America. And then the opportunity came up with Delta Heavy, and obviously, like, I admire those guys and have known their work for a long time, and I respect what they do like immensely. So that's been really fun. But back to like the touring part right now. I mean, we've got Ben's down in New Zealand touring right now. Like it's like it's like summertime fun for him right now. It's amazing.
So
like
jealous, man.
Believe me.
I keep
like,
seeing all these DJs.
Videos. It's unreal. Yeah.
It's killing me, bro. Like, it's what I've done for basically my whole life. And now it's like I'm sat at home and I'm just seeing all these DJs flying out and spending 2 weeks in quarantine, is it?
Yeah,
and
14 days quarantine, like state-run quarantine, and then you're like free to go, basically. So
I'm interested. Does it cost money? Do they have to pay for the hotel and stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, there's expenses with the whole quarantine issue, and Ben's a champ. He's staying down there for 5 weeks and doing dates, you know, and just is crushing through the whole thing.
My heart bleeds, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I talked to him yesterday, and I was like, oh, I'm so insanely jealous of you right now. He's like, yeah, we went sea kayaking today with Subfocus and Dimension, and you know, I'm like, oh, that sounds absolutely terrible. I feel so bad for you.
How long till all these artists are like, it's actually better here than in England? I think we might just see if we can get some citizenship going. I know Alex Perez has decided to I think he emigrated. I think he said he's emigrated, so
yeah, I think so too. I mean, I'm sure you've been down there as well, but like, it is probably my favorite country in the entire world. If I could live in Queenstown, I would live in Queenstown.
The only thing for me is I used to think it was, I've obviously been to New Zealand quite a few times on tour. I was in the second massive earthquake in Christchurch. And I thought that like it was paradise, but actually in paradise, there's always something that's sort of like around the corner. And there's a couple of hotels that I stayed in that have like tsunami precautions and that kind of stuff. And you're like, oh. And the earthquake in Christchurch was mad. Like,
yeah. That's why I'll take Queenstown. You're up in the mountains. You're at a higher elevation.
Queenstown is just. I took my missus out on the last tour just to kind of show her some of the things that I get to see. And Queenstown is basically Lord of the Rings, isn't it? You know, it's just.
It's beautiful. First time I went to Queenstown, I don't know if you know this part of my world, but. When I was, you know, teenager through early 20s, I was sponsored for snowboarding, and
wow.
So I spent a couple summers our time, winters their time down in Queenstown snowboarding and like doing heliboarding up there and stuff like that. So I was pretty familiar with that place back when I was younger. And I mean, I fell in love with it back then. So now to watch everyone going back over in my music world, I'm just like, I mean, like to me, it's all about the mountains there. Like it's just a beautiful, beautiful place.
Can you not just sort of pull in that kind of like manager card, that kind of like dodgy manager where he's like, yeah, I go to all my artist shows and I'm their MC.
I mean, to be fair, I 100% could have gone down this time and done that, but
family.
I have a wife and kids, and it was Christmas time. Like, I mean, not only did Ben go down there in quarantine, but he quarantined right over Christmas. I mean, he was locked in a hotel room for Christmas. So
personally, I'm of an age where Christmas has really lost all its kind of novelty, maybe like 10, 15 years ago.
I mean,
socks is the highlight.
I don't want to shock you or anything like this, but Santa Claus is fake, just so you know. It's not a real thing.
And he doesn't like drum and bass. That's mad. I didn't know that you had maybe not a pro snowboarder, but if you're getting sponsored, that must be semi-pro.
No, it was that level. I had pro models and all that stuff back then.
Wow.
Yeah. But I mean, you're talking a million years ago, essentially, at this point. I mean,
but a million years ago is when snowboarding was just coming through, I imagine. So like,
that's pretty much. I mean, I was like, I am the champion of getting involved in things when they're in their infancy and they're cool, and you can't make any money off of them.
Perfect.
Like that's my thing. Is like cool. Let me be involved in the cool part of this where you make no money at all. You know. So that was
you sold your Bitcoin at 25 cents or some shit.
Fuck, I wish, man. I'd take. Yeah, I wish. Yeah. No, but yeah, that was like that was pretty much like the late 80s into the early 90s. Not to date myself. I'm considering I'm only 30 right now. I don't know how that's even possible, but
time warps, bro. You time tripping.
Yeah. And then I mean I went into like the whole rave world and the very, very intro of the rave world in America.
What a mistake that was.
Again, like, you know, like super fun. I'd never traded the experiences from all that stuff. I mean, we were in the like early warehouse days. I mean, like for me in drum and bass, it's been amazing because I mean, I'm watching like rolling through from like where like Kenny Ken was a good friend and is still, and someone that I booked a ton, to where now Chrissy's a good friend and someone that I respect and have watched him grow and turn into like an amazing DJ as well. So.
Generational. It's really cool. Chrissy's a good friend of mine and we speak quite regularly, and it's really cool to see all the stuff that he's doing, and he's hustling. He's having to hustle hard like everybody at this time, but we just cannot wait to get back out and be like touring. And you know, I know we're all gonna have to take a realistic pay cut when it does come back, and it's just I want to make sure that all the promoters can make a bit of change, sort of like, you know, so that they don't feel as if it's like they're done with it. I'm not sure how many promoters on this circuit. We're so blessed in drum and bass. I think a lot of kids who come through, I was like it too. You think that this is going to go forever in terms of there's so many shows around the world, but actually in every country, there might be 5 soldiers who've been doing this. People like you, there's so many around the world. In every city, there might be 1 or 2 crews. And if you go around the world, like acting a fool or being like disrespectful, that whole circuit will dry up for you really quickly. Like, it's not something you can take for granted, you know. It's
true. Are you trying to get me to talk shit about people who have been horrible artists?
Absolutely not. That is not what this is about. This thing is all about love and just sort of spreading the understanding and the knowledge of, you know, I'm not sure if anybody really reaches out and spreads this kind of like deeper feeling of drum and bass and the scene and how deep the roots are worldwide. That's why I want to talk to everybody that I know and just have them talk shit about their experiences in this and how they're managing to survive through this time. And you know, I'll probably try and keep going on. I'd really be interested in doing like actual, when I'm on tour, set up a couple of microphones and sit with somebody like face to face. I think that might be good too, if there's time for it. I mean, those tours are brutal. They really, you've done it too. You fly down to...
Yeah, I don't do the like 12 days in a row like you guys do though. I might do like 3 days in a row and that's the end of it.
It's enough though, right?
Yeah, I mean, believe me, like, I mean, I made my push to be a career DJ for a moment, you know, and it didn't stick for me, you know, whatever. I mean, is what it is. But yeah, I mean, it's tiring, and I don't think the average kid out there understands, or the average attendee of a show understands, like, that it is really, really tiring. And it's not that people are like, I don't think any artist is asking for like sympathy about it, because it is still amazing and awesome. But it's certainly tiring, no question about it. Like, yeah, to set up interviews in the middle of it, good luck.
Yeah, I don't know if that's really actually going to be a realistic thing to do. But, you know, that tiredness thing, as you say, I have been like 4 days, 1 hour sleep. Yeah. And then you have to go somewhere and act like you just had an 8 hour sleep and you're really happy to be doing what you're doing. And in fact, every bone in your body is just saying, like, just drink the Red Bull and just
get that done. Yeah. Good on you for caring about that, because there's plenty of guys who don't care about that, who just like roll through and have no emotion about it or appreciation, and they just like, they are like true machines, you know, like not in a good way, kind of, you know, like the non-emotional machines. So good on you for actually caring about putting a positive image out there.
So that is as long as I managed to capture or recover from the hard drive. But I just want to say thank you so much for watching. And if you found anything in this video interesting, please smash the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications so you can keep up to date with all that's new from me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you have any ideas for future videos, I read all your comments. Don't forget to check out my sites in the description below for samples and presets. A massive big up to all the WOLFPACK. And sorry, Fury, I had the hard drive mash up on me and I had to do like proper data recovery. It cost me like £80 to get the software, but it was worth it for this, because I think you put over some amazing information, and I just want to say thanks so much, and I hope you will come back on the show. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Peace. Big up, save.